I promised that I would talk about my overnight camp a little bit, and so here it is. This is my route. The little red trail that you see here was the white trail that me and my friend hiked the last time. My GPS logs these for me so that I know that I've already hiked that route. The great thing about that is that I don't end up hiking the regular route. However, the trail that you see highlighted currently is the Pinhoti Trail. The white trail is supposed to be a loop hike, so you would hike up and then get to the white trail and then hike back. And I think it's something like 6.8 miles. It might be less, it might be more. I cannot actually remember. However, we hiked down to the cabins down by the river, so past the river last time. There it is. There's the river. That's where we went to. And then we stopped over here, which is the cabins. You can see there's a little kink in the leg there. See that little dog leg there is where you walk into the cabins, or not cabin, it's just a trail shelter, and have lunch or whatever. But I hiked a little bit further than that. I hiked 12.6 miles into my camp up here, and you could see a lot of this was a road hike, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'll be honest, I prefer to hike on a trail. You could see these long straight lines are usually fire lanes or dirt roads or whatever, and that's not quite as fun as walking in the woods. But I did get to walk through. I think this is Weogufka. It's not actually Mountain Brook. I don't know why that's up there. Oh yeah, I do actually. It's the name of the section that I have the bird's eye view in. I'm sorry. So I hiked over here and hiked through the town. And when I came over here to this bridge, this road had a big sign on it that said "Bridge Out." And I hiked quite a ways, and there was actually a bridge right here, I think. And when I came up to it, it was not out, and it was a little bit confusing. And then when I got to this section right here, that was the actual bridge that was out, and it was indeed out. You can see the little dog leg as I hiked across the bridge and then climbed down up and off of it and then continued my hike. I hiked a little ways and found out there were some other hikers behind me, and so I stopped and had like a little snack. I continued hiking for the majority of the day. I hiked along the roads. This is the majority of this is roads, and again, it's not quite that fun. But and at one point or another, I was kind of getting a little bit concerned because I was wondering if I was ever going to get back on the trail. So I got to this section right here, and there's a little register mailbox that I stopped at to sign and just continue my hike. And then I hiked down and got some water in this little section here. And I drank the majority of that water before I got to the next section, which is right here. And I remember I found some morel mushrooms along part of the hike, and I stopped and got some of those. So one of these little legs where it looks like I'm wandering around is probably me grabbing some mushrooms. I crossed a creek right here, and then hiked up some more. And then I hiked to the top of this ridge here and had my camp for the night. The graph of that is right here. All right, here we go. So the great thing about this base camp is that you can actually create a little dot as you go across it and hike your path. So if I want to see what my elevation was at a certain point, I can, and that's really handy if you want to go back and see why did that take me so long, why did that go so quickly, or whatever. And I've really liked Basecamp so far because of that. However, if you mess up and like I did and let the battery die on your GPS, then when you start it up again the next day, it becomes a little bit it becomes disoriented, and it will shoot you across the map and end up somewhere else, and that's a little bit frustrating. I actually climbed quite high. I think I camped at 930 feet, and I will tell you in just a second whenever we get there. That's 600 and something feet. And then we climbed up quite a ways. I think I topped out at 980. Nope, 960, 958. So I camped pretty high up and had to weather a thunderstorm because of it. However, part of this is a graph, and this is the cool part, is because you could see where I was at above 1,000 feet. So there's a little man there. So let me get rid of one of those little men. And bam. So that's above 1,000 feet. That is the flag mountain, and that's why it's so high. And then when I hike into the valley at 600 feet is when I'm beside the river, and then hiked back up to 840 feet. And then the majority of my hike was below 900 feet, and then I camped at 949 is what it says. So that was pretty good hike. And then I hiked out, ended up on I think I ended up in this area. So let's see, this area here. And because there's the main road, and then my wife came and got me, I think right here. It wasn't very far away, and there were dogs barking, and it was a good hike. But that is the highlight of my journey, was this graph here, and I'll print it out, and you can examine it if you want. We can actually stretch it out so you can see it a little better. But that says 12.9 miles. It was actually 12.6 miles. The reason it says 12.9 is because it measures all of my walking, which means that if I stop and wander around in an area, it's going to add that to my total distance. And as you could see, there were a few spots where I stopped and walked around, and basically I took my pack off and stretched my legs and got loosened back up, because I don't know, it just feels to me a little bit like I start to feel a little restrained, and so I have to just take my pack off and move a little bit with it off. It's kind of like driving a car. So that was it. That was my trip. It was very enjoyable, and then the next day I hiked 5.6 miles out. It was a very good camp. If you view my Instagram or my website or my blog, you probably get to see a few of those pictures, and there's a short video as well. And I enjoyed it in spite of the thunderstorms. That's it.